Hello and welcome to this Markets.com country profile on Brazil. I'm your host, Armando Gutierrez Jr. As the largest South American country, Brazil's population nears 192 million people. The country's currency is the Brazilian real and is currently valued at 1.6 real to the US dollar. Brazil's current account balance stands at a $15.2 trillion deficit. Brazil's major exports are transportation equipment, iron ore, and soybeans. Total exports amount to $160 billion a year. Imports total just over $120 billion, which consists mainly of machinery, chemical products, oil, automotive parts, and electronics. Taking a look now at more numbers, in 2007, Brazil's real GDP growth was close to 6%, with a GDP of $1.3 trillion in nominal terms and $1.8 trillion based on purchasing power parity. The per capita GDP falls just short of $10,000. The country is currently facing an inflation rate of 5.6% annually, while almost 8% of the population is presently unemployed. Looking at cash flows, foreign direct investment inflows were about $250 billion, while outflows amounted to $107 billion. Now moving on to the markets. Brazil's premier exchange, the BM&F Bovespa, is located in São Paulo, with the Ibovespa as its main index. The total exchange-wide market value of publicly traded shares totals over $1.3 trillion. Now let's peer into politics. Brazil is overseen by Chief of State President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, which also serves as Chief Executive. The Workers' Party, Brazilian Democratic Movement Party, Brazilian Social Democracy Party, and Democratic parties make up the political forces of Brazil, where the judicial system is based entirely on the Roman Code. Let's talk about taxes. With a high income tax rate of 27%, the country has heavy tax burden, small base for taxation, and a widespread tax evasion. Both the corporate tax system and indirect systems are highly complicated, and many loopholes prevail. Time now to take a look at the top 5 of Brazil's big business companies. Coming up first is Petróleo Brasileiro Corporation. With a market cap of $461.5 billion, the company engages primarily in the oil and gas industry. At number 2, with a market cap of 209 billion reals, is Companhia Vale del Rio. The company engages primarily in the metals and mining industries. Filling in the number 3 spot is the Brazil-based holding company Banco Bradesco, with a market cap of 96 billion. Aside from banking, the company engages in insurance. Ranked number 4 is Banco Itaú Holding Corporation, with a market cap of 93 billion, also in the financial industry. And lastly, Banco do Brasil, with a market cap of 60 billion real. Banco do Brasil provides a range of financial products and services to individual and corporate clients. Now, what can we predict for Brazil? Well, despite the fact that the government announced an increase in its primary fiscal surplus target to 4.3%, recent months suggest a fiscal surplus of 4.1% in GDP in 2008 and 3.6% in 2009. So far this year, inflationary pressures have remained strong, indicating a slowing of economic growth, which remains relatively resilient, while strong effects on food prices indicate a rise in inflation for the next couple of years. We also expect current accounts to post deficits for 2008 and 2009, which will probably hover around 1.1% of the GDP annually. Meanwhile, trade surpluses will continue to decline. And with that, we will conclude our presentation on Brazil. I'm your host, Armando Gutierrez Jr., and thank you for joining us.